And so to see a product raised in Iowa or across the country, someplace in either Latin America or Southern Africa that says U.S. soy on it, that's helping people around the world, it just makes you feel good about what you're doing and to help everybody live better.
Hi, I'm Brownfield anchor reporter Brent Barnett, and welcome into the Soybean Bulletin, a content partnership with the Iowa Soybean Association. Joining me today is Iowa farmer Morey Hill. Morey, thanks for being with us. How are you doing this morning?
Very well. Thanks for being. I'm glad to be here.
Absolutely. Morey, tell us more about your background in farming and kind of where you're from in Iowa.
Well, I live in central Iowa, just south of Ames, basically, almost the center of the state. My wife and I raise soybeans and corn, and we raise a few sheep. And I've been farming full-time since the early 2000s when my father retired, and I was farming part-time with him up to that point.
How did the last growing season go for you and the family on the farm? Looking back on the 2024 season.
You know, actually, it was pleasantly surprising. We had a good April, so the corn went in exceptionally, I thought, smooth. And then May got wet, and so beans were sporadic. But all in all, come fall, and I give a lot of the credit to our genetics nowadays, yields were very good.
That's really good to hear. Would love to hear more about your background with Iowa Soybean Association, Morey, and how you got involved with the association.
Well, it's kind of a crooked trail, so to speak, because I was approached for District 5, had an opening on the Iowa Soybean Board. The current director was terming out, so it was an open seat, and evidently I had enough name recognition across District 5. I got elected to the Iowa Soybean Association in 2014, and I also got elected to the American Soybean Association in 2016. So I've been involved with soybean associations, state and national, since that time.
So you really get to see what goes on at the state and county level then in the work you do, right?
Exactly. And then take it on from there to the national and work on policy for all the benefit of soy farmers across the United States.
And so since 2014, what's the whole experience been like for you up to this point?
Very rewarding. You know, I've learned a lot about the soybean industry and our checkoff system and how the U.S. Soybean farmer makes an impact across the world with the soybeans we grow and how it could help feed people.
Well, today on the program, we really want to talk about soy foods and Soy Foods Month taking place during the month of April. So let's just get some preliminary thoughts there, Morey, on soy foods when we hear that on that front.
Well, it's very interesting because the Iowa Soybean Association in 2000 had the foresight to create the Iowa Soyfoods Council with Linda Funk. And the whole purpose was to educate and promote the use of soy products in everyday diets and nutrition for people around the world and understand the nutritional benefits of soy.
So when we look at soy nutrition, how important is that when we look at some of these markets across the globe that are really big for soybean producers?
It's exponential because, you know, as countries grow and markets emerge, the people want to eat better, and, you know, protein is lacking, you know, in all these emerging countries, and soy can help fill that gap.
I think people would be surprised just, how many different foods soy is a part of. And it's really eye-opening when you look at it.
You know, we're all used to seeing tofu or soy milk, but, you know, we also have the soy flour that can be used in baking and all sorts of, and we have tempeh and you know, it can be grilled, it can be sauteed, it can be used in a variety of ways, and that's what the Soy Foods Council does, is to help promote and encourage different uses for soy products.
I know Iowa Soybean Association does a really good job communicating with these markets and these trading partners. Is this a big topic of conversation that comes up in these meetings, you know, discussing the health benefits of putting soy in their nutrition?
I think it depends on your audience. Okay. You know, like I said, the Soy Foods Council has been around for almost 25 years now, and I think for the domestic market, you know, people are very aware. But as I've been able to travel with the soybean industry to other countries around the world, they need to understand that, you know, soy is not trying to replace whatever they have for their protein sources now. It can be added and used together or or help improve way of life, whether they, consume it, whether through human consumption, like I said, with soy flour or texturized soy meal and stuff, but also, teach them how to use it in animal feed so they can eat what they eat.
What involvement have you had, Morey, on the soy foods front and some of the work you do behind the scenes?
Well, American Soybean Association has a standing committee called WISH, which stands for World Initiative for Soy and Human Health. And it almost takes what the Soy Foods Council started 25 years ago to another level. And as far as they work in emerging markets and developing markets to help people understand the value of what soy protein can do to the human diet and raise better people and so that they're happier and healthier.
Does this tie in with kind of that message we hear a lot, farmers always learning about the different uses of soy and how that list just continues to grow?
Oh, it's really impressive. Anything from, shoes and tires to, asphalt and then all the uses that they can, use within the human diet or in the aquaculture because, fish are easy to feed, but they all take specific diets. But soy can be used in that also.
You being a soybean farmer yourself, what's it mean to you to see the impact that your crop that you raise has, on folks around the world, not just here in the U.S.?
Oh, yeah, it's rewarding because, that's the one thing I've always talked about being on these boards is, I'm a voice for my neighbors and for the people that can't be there. And so to see a product raised in Iowa or across the country, someplace in either Latin America or Southern Africa that says U.S. soy on it, that's helping people around the world, it just makes you feel good about what you're doing and to help everybody live better.
Morey, any final thoughts on Soy Foods Month in April before we close here today?
I just think that soy can be, utilized in so many ways that people, if they haven't tried it, as a personal perspective, I'm not a big fan of tofu, but you can make it taste about any way you want it to. So, go out there and try it.
Well, hey, thank you so much for coming on and sharing this conversation with us. And best of luck to you here this year in the growing season of 2025.
Thank you very much, and thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Again, that's Iowa farmer Morey Hill joining us here on the Soybean Bulletin, a content partnership with the Iowa Soybean Association. I'm Brent Barnett with Brownfield.